COVID-19 scenarios. How should I react? Here's an example of what to do if you notice a symptom during your visual screening of your students.
Good morning, Jacob. Can I talk to you in private for a minute? I noticed you're coughing quite a bit this morning. Are you feeling okay?
Ugh, I'm so tired. This cough kept me up most of the night, and I'm not really feeling all that great. I thought I could make it through the day, but I haven't even made it to class yet, and I'm dragging.
Okay, Jacob. Let's have you wait in the isolation room while we call your parents for pickup. I'm going to let our school nurse know that you're not feeling well and that you're waiting for a ride home.
As you saw in the last video, the teacher was taking a look at his students and noticed that one of them was coughing. He approached the student in private to gather more information.
Hey, Matthew. Can we talk in the hallway for a second?
Yeah, sure.
Hi, Matthew. Is everything okay?
Yeah, sorry. I'm just not feeling well. My throat hurts. I didn't feel good this morning, but my parents had already left for work before I got on the bus, and I didn't know what to do.
I'm sorry to hear that, Matthew. I'm going to notify the front desk and let them know that you're going down to the health room. The school will call your parents to come pick you up. It's important for all of us to rest and stay home when we're sick. I hope you feel better soon.
In the last video, you saw the teacher again visually assessing his students. In private, he learned that the student had a sore throat, which is one of the low-risk symptoms of COVID. Based on district policy, the person with one low-risk symptom and no known COVID exposure is okay to return to school 24 hours after the symptom has improved or resolved. Here's an example of what to do if one of your students or athletes has a high-risk symptom.
Susan, that sounds like a bad cough. Did you already use your inhaler?
Yeah, the cough kicked in last night.
I think you need a drink of water. Let's call a parent. You need to go home.
No, Coach, I don't want to go home. I'll be okay after I get some water.
I know you want to stay and practice, but we have to be cautious and we want you well.
Fine. Ugh, I'll go call my dad.
Susan, I want to talk with your dad when he picks you up, okay? Coach, Susan said she has to come home because of her cough? That's right, Dan. A cough is one of the high-risk symptoms that students have to stay home for. I know that Susan has asthma, but she's already used her inhaler and is still coughing a lot. I've never seen her cough like this at practice. I've notified our school nurse, and we encourage you to take Susan to her doctor for an evaluation. If you choose not to do that, then she needs to stay home for 10 days. There are a few additional considerations, but I will let Nurse Kevin discuss those with you. Coach, you know Susan has asthma. I can't believe she has to stay home for 10 days. I hear you. This isn't an easy time for any of us, Dan. Please call Nurse Kevin and he will help you sort it all out.
As you saw in the last video, the athlete had a cough, which is one of the high-risk symptoms of COVID. As described in the video, a person with one high-risk symptom or two or more low-risk symptoms and no known COVID exposure needs to stay home for 10 days. Or they can see a healthcare provider to return sooner if they submit a Bend Lapine Schools return to school or work form and a negative COVID test. Here's an example of what to do if one of your students or athletes has two low-risk symptoms.
I never said that, and you can't prove that I did.
Good acting and energy, Carmen, but what's wrong?
It's just my allergies acting up, no big deal.
Sorry, Carmen, you need to go check in with Nurse Maria. These days we have to be extra careful. I will call her and let her know you are on your way to the health room.
I shall return when these sniffles depart.
Hi, Carmen. Sounds like your nose is bothering you.
Yeah, I think it's just my allergies. I'm also getting a bit of a headache.
Unfortunately, a runny nose and a headache are low-risk symptoms of COVID-19. Even if it is allergy-related, we have to be cautious, especially now. Let's call your mom for pickup. Since you have two low-risk symptoms, the expectation is to isolate for 10 days from when your symptoms began, or you can choose to see a doctor. If the doctor thinks it's safe for you to return sooner, just have her complete a return to school form. Get that to me along with a negative COVID-19 test result, and I'll clear your return. I know it's a lot, but we have to do this to keep everyone safe.
I don't like it, but I understand.
In this scenario, even though the student's symptoms are mild, she has two low-risk symptoms of COVID, so she needs to stay home for 10 days or see a healthcare provider to return sooner. Here's an example of what to do if one of your students or athletes has vomiting or diarrhea.
Hey Ben, what's up?
Coach, I think I'm going to lose it. I've been feeling lousy today. I can't seem to stay out of the bathroom.
Ben, why didn't you go to the health room earlier?
I don't know. I thought it would get better. I tried to drink plenty of water. My parents were busy today. I don't think they could have picked me up anyway. Ugh, maybe my taco at lunch was bad.
Ben, if you're throwing up or have diarrhea, you need to be home. Let's call a parent. I'm sure they'll understand and come get you. I want to talk with them before you leave, okay?
Coach, I'm here to get Ben. I had no idea he was feeling so bad. Hopefully, with a good night's rest, he'll be back tomorrow.
Actually, Ben is going to need to stay home for at least 48 hours after his symptoms resolve before he can come back to school and practice. There are other considerations, so you need to talk to Pam, the school nurse, before he can come back. I have to let her know about Ben's symptoms, and she will follow up with you.
I'll connect with Nurse Pam. Thanks, Coach.
Vomiting and diarrhea are exceptions, in that a person will need to stay home 48 hours after symptom resolution, rather than 24 hours after symptom resolution for other low-risk symptoms of COVID. Here's an example of what to do if one of your students or athletes has close contact with a COVID-19 positive person.
I just checked my phone and saw that my dad's COVID test is positive.
Vanessa, can I talk to you in private? Excuse me, did I hear you say that your dad is positive for COVID?
Yeah, my mom just texted me.
I'm sorry to hear that, Vanessa. You realize that means you're at risk as well.
I guess so. Dad and I just talked about it last night when he told me that he had been tested. They wanted me to stay home today until we knew what the results were, but I had a big test today.
I understand you want to be here, but it does put your friends and teachers at risk of exposure. I'm going to call Hannah, the school nurse, and let her know you're on your way to the health room. Vanessa, don't worry about the test. We'll figure that out.
In the last video, the teacher's next steps will be to notify their school administrator and the school nurse of what they overheard. If the student has no symptoms, they should wait in the health room while the school nurse or administrator makes a phone call to the parent. If the student has symptoms, they should wait in the isolation room. Please keep in mind that all these scenarios also apply to Ben Lepine's staff. If you're not feeling well, even with one low-risk symptom, please contact your administrator.